This season, Victor Wembanyama was proving why he was one of the greatest prospects in NBA history. He was doing things on a basketball court that simply should not be possible, but just when it felt like we were witnessing history in the making, the unthinkable happened.
Wemby likely missing the rest of the season.
He was diagnosed with a form of a blood clot. It's called a deep vein thrombosis in his right shoulder.
Man, it's been extremely tough, tell you to say the least.
On February 20th, the San Antonio Spurs announced that Wembanyama would miss the remainder of the 2024-2025 NBA season due to deep vein thrombosis in his right shoulder. If you're not familiar with the term, DVT is a condition where a blood clot forms in a deep vein, which can be incredibly dangerous if left untreated. For Wemby, this wasn't just a minor injury, it was a serious health concern. It felt that this had come out of nowhere after we had just seen Wemby play in the All-Star game. The Spurs had noticed low energy with Wemby and became concerned. They noticed he still had low energy during the All-Star break and began to run their test where it came back with the DVT. It is remarkable the Spurs medical team was able to see Wemby wasn't himself and were able to spot the injury before it got worse. The good news, the Spurs medical team caught it early, and with proper treatment, they expect a full recovery. They are expecting Wemby's timetable to return will be at the start of next season. This isn't the first time we've seen an NBA player sidelined with DVT, and the outcomes have been mixed. Brandon Ingram was diagnosed with DVT in his right arm in 2019, cutting his season short. After undergoing blood thinning treatment, he returned the following season and had a breakout year, averaging 23.8 points per game and winning NBA's Most Improved Player award. Chris Bosh, on the other hand, wasn't so lucky. The two-time NBA champion had reoccurring blood clot issues leading to multiple medical interventions. Despite his attempts to return, doctors deemed it too dangerous for him to continue playing. His career was cut short in 2016 at just 32 years old. Asar Thompson recently faced a similar issue, missing 8 months with a blood clot in his leg. Medical advancements and early detection allowed Thompson to recover fully. Upon his return, he picked it up where he left off, displaying the same defensive intensity and athleticism that made him a promising young player for the Detroit Pistons. Before this unfortunate turn of events, Wemby was playing at an elite level. Over 46 games, he averaged 24.3 points, 11 rebounds, 3.8 blocks. He was also a first-time NBA All-Star this season. He was well on his way to winning the Defensive Player of the Year award. To put that in perspective, he is on the list of only 7 NBA players and is the youngest in history to average 24, 11, and 3 in 40 or more games. This list includes Kareem, Hakeem Olajuwon, David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, Shaq, and Bob McAdoo. The new NBA rule that requires players to play at least 65 games to qualify for end-of-the-season awards, Wembanyama is officially out of the race for the Defensive Player of the Year. This now means that Jaren Jackson Jr. or Evan Mobley are the new favorites to win Defensive Player of the Year. If Jaren Jackson Jr. wins Defensive Player of the Year this season, in his contract, if he wins, he is eligible for a 5-year, $345 million Supermax extension with the Grizzlies. It would also be his second time winning the award. So what does this mean for the Spurs this season? They were already struggling, sitting at 12th in the Western Conference with a 24-30 record. They were already trying to maximize Wemby's talent and build around him. The Spurs traded for De'Aaron Fox at the NBA trade deadline. De'Aaron Fox made it clear to Sacramento that he wanted to play with the Spurs. The Spurs traded away Trey Jones, Zach Collins, and CD Sissoko with some draft picks. Without Wemby, the Spurs' playoff hopes just took a massive hit, but here's where things get interesting. So what now? With Wemby out, should the Spurs tank? If they do, what are their draft lottery odds? They have about a 3% chance at landing a #1 overall pick in the 2025 NBA draft as of right now. If they keep losing and finish near the bottom of the league, they could move up higher and get better odds. It is probably unlikely they catch up to the Wizards, Jazz, or Pelicans losing record. Right now, all 3 of these teams have a 14% chance to land the #1 pick. The last time the Spurs lost a generational big man to an early injury, it led to something huge. Back in 1996, David Robinson suffered a season-ending injury and the Spurs finished a year with only 20 wins. But it led to draft Tim Duncan. The rest is history. 5 championships and one of the most dominant dynasties in NBA history. So could history repeat itself? With prospects like Cooper Flagg headlining the upcoming draft, there's a legitimate chance the Spurs could land another future superstar. Wemby and Flagg on the same team, that would be scary. Even if the Spurs don't get the #1 pick, this draft class is pretty good. Everybody knows about Cooper Flagg, the 6'9" forward with elite two-way potential. He's a game changer defensively and has a polished offensive skill set. If the Spurs land him, pairing him with Wemby could create one of the most terrifying frontcourts in NBA history. But who else is on the board? Next up is Dylan Harper. a 6'7" guard making waves at Rutgers University. Harper, the son of former NBA star Ron Harper, Dylan controls the game's tempo with maturity beyond his years. His court vision and decision-making make him a top prospect, with many analysts projecting him as a top 3 pick in the draft. Ace Bailey, also at Rutgers, is a 6'10" forward known for his scoring ability and athleticism. Bailey's offensive repertoire allows him to score from all 3 levels, making him a constant threat on the court. His dynamic play has been pivotal for the Rutgers this season, and his potential has NBA scouts projecting him as a top 3 pick. Rounding out this elite group is VJ Edgecombe, a 6'5" guard currently playing for Baylor University. Edgecombe is celebrated for his defensive tenacity and athleticism. He has found his rhythm this season, averaging 15 points, 5.2 rebounds, 3.3 assists, and an impressive 2.1 steals per game. His two-way play and high motor have propelled him into a top 5 consideration for the draft. So what's next for Victor Wembanyama? Well, the focus is now 100% on recovery. The Spurs medical staff has reassured fans that DVT, when detected early, is treatable. Assuming everything goes smoothly, Wemby should be back next season at full strength. Injuries have derailed plenty of promising careers, but they don't have to define a player. If anyone has the work ethic and mindset to come back stronger, it's Wemby. He's already proven that he's different, and if there's one thing we know about Victor Wembanyama, he's built to defy the odds. This is obviously a huge blow for the NBA. Wembanyama was one of the league's most exciting young players, and now we'll have to wait until next season to see him back on the court. But what do you guys think? Will Wemby come back even better? Let me know in the comments, and as always, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.